Hello. For anyone that cares to listen, I'd like to share with you how I make this no-knead bread. It's real easy to make. It takes 7 minutes of labor time, and it costs 32 cents to make, and it's as good as any bread you'll ever buy in any bakery ever. Here's how I do it. I usually do this in the morning before I go to work. So get a big bowl, probably the biggest one you have. Mix 461 grams of bread flour, that's 4 cups, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of bread machine yeast. Now whisk the dry ingredients together. I think it fluffs up the flour. It's like sifting, and it makes the flour accept the water better. Now add the water. That's 352 milliliters of water, or 1.5 cups. And don't worry if you're using the metric system. Your friends aren't going to think you're a communist. I like to use the handle of a wooden spoon to stir this. At first, when you add the water, you'll think it's too wet. Then you'll think it's too dry. Just keep stirring. These ingredients are right. And when you're done, just cover it with a towel to keep the bugs out. This is about, I think it was 18 hours later, and you can see that the dough has risen. Does it rise? Risen? And it's still really sticky. I'm pouring it out on the counter, put some flour on there so it doesn't stick. And what I'm trying to do here is rotate the dough and get the seams of the bread or the dough on the bottom of it. I guess for no other reason that it just makes it look better. Okay, now I'm placing the dough on the parchment paper. You'll see in a minute why I did this. It's just for handling it for safety's sake. Okay, this is an afterthought. I decided that I was going to put some poppy seeds on the bread. And I'm mixing up an egg wash here. This is just to glue the poppy seeds to the bread. Even if it's sticky, it still doesn't stick to it good enough and they start falling off. So I put milk in the egg wash. That way I can take the eggs and I can use it for an omelet or French toast later on. Here's our Dutch oven. Thank you, Carolyn and Linda. And you notice that I took out the middle rack and put this at the very bottom of that. That's so you don't burn yourself. After about 3 or 4 hours, the dough will double in size. You want to preheat the oven to 500 degrees. I use these scissors to cut the top of the dough, and it makes an ear on it. For no other reason than I think it makes it look nicer. You don't need to do this. Now set a timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove the lid. Now wait another 5 minutes with the lid off to let the bread brown up a bit. After 5 minutes, I removed the Dutch oven and the bread and carried out to the garage where I put it on the floor. 500 degrees is real hot and I don't want to damage anything or burn anybody. I pushed the wrong button on the camera when I made the initial cut, but I want to show you this. This bread has a real hard crust and a soft and chewy crumb. And it goes good with pasta or soup, and it's delicious. If anybody makes any, I'd like to hear about it. Thanks for watching.